So this is my latest song. It's called Earthlings. As I think it's very important to think about ourselves as Earthlings, because we come from this earth, and we absolutely rely on everything to do with the earth to sustain our life. But of course, our life can't be sustained independently of any other life. And I guess this whole issue was really brought home to me much more strongly when I went to the Gammon Ranges recently, Volcafana National Park, and saw the devastation there, with most of the trees dead, almost nothing living. No fresh scats of any animals. The only live animal we saw was one yellow-footed rock wallaby. There were no euros, there were no goats. There were very, very few birds. And because birds need trees and the shrubs are dead, and shrubs and trees need water. And there is very little rain because of global warming, this is exactly the prediction that the scientists made 20 years ago when I moved here to Wilmington. They predicted that we were going to have less rainfall total, and more of the rainfall that did fall was going to fall in summer, and they've been exactly correct. But no one listened, and to be honest, I didn't really listen either. I mean, I listened, I took it on board, but not deep within my guts. I didn't take it on board within my guts. And this last few trips I've done, not just to the Gammons, but other places where the trees are dead and the birds are almost non-existent, has brought it home to me in my guts that this is a really serious threat to our future. And we don't seem to be awake, to the problem. So I wrote this song called Earthlings. I initially called it Earthlings and Lemmings, and everyone probably knows the myth about lemmings running off cliffs, going crazy and running off cliffs. Well, it's an appropriate metaphor for us because we seem to be heading off the cliff in a fairly crazy sort of a fashion. But I just do want to mention that it's a complete myth. Lemmings don't run off the cliff and suicide. I sort of knew this, but when I wrote the song, I checked it out a bit more, and apparently, Walt Disney made the company Walt Disney made a nature documentary where they completely fabricated the whole thing about lemmings running off the cliff. In fact, where they shot the footage, the lemmings don't even live, but they paid Inuit children to collect lemmings and then make it appear like they were running off the cliff. So yeah, lemmings don't run off the cliff, but it looks like humans might be running off the cliff of extinction because we just haven't woken up to the fact that this is serious. Before our very eyes. One of the problems is it's not before most people's eyes because most people live in the city and you don't see, you're not really aware that anything's changing because, water still comes out of the tap and you turn the light on and, things are green. To some extent that's true for me here at Wilmington as well. But when I've gone bush, I've seen the reality of what's happening. This is my song. It's called Earthlings. We are everything. Everything is one. We stand and fall together underneath the sun. The sun is our father. The earth is our mother. Forget about me. Will we be earthlings and find our voice? Earthlings or lemmings, that is our choice. Will we be earthlings and find our voice? Competition is a big mistake. Greed and death lie in its wake. Connection with others is the way to go. From this place, generosity can flow. As earthlings we love the earth. The earth is our home and our place of birth. We come and we go, but we are one. Earthlings with the others under the sun. Earthlings or lemmings, that is our choice. Will we be earthlings and find our voice? Earthlings or lemmings, that is our choice. Will we be earthlings and find our voice? Will we be earthlings and find our voice? Will we be earthlings and find our voice? We've got to all do what we can, even if it means sticking your head up and getting it knocked off.